And this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everything else is like, still the weekend, you fucking go.
Yo. What's going on, everybody? It's Monday. We back.
Hey.
Like we never left.
Yeah.
Like we never left. This is the one day of the week we look forward to, no matter what else is going on. I really set the weekend up. I'm looking forward to Monday because I'm like, let's see that weekend be something special. So when we get to Monday, we can talk about it, but getting that energy and get ready for the week. You know what I mean?
We are literally the best motivators to work with on Motivation Monday, because every dude on the show, Sean Harvey, A-Rock Silly, Amir, myself, Talent, we are all real dudes, like real dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? So when you see us skip a Monday and play like a repeat show or something like that, you know right there, somebody got to go to court. Somebody had domestic dispute at the house. Regular community shit that goes wrong. You know what I mean? Had to put your hands on the nigga, spend a little time down in central booking. Or nigga might have owed you a few dollars, smack shit out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just bullshit. Happy Monday, everybody. Motivation Monday. That is Amir Silly welcoming you to the show. Before we get started, we always start off with our weekend recap. But before I do that, I definitely want to take time out to say we are winding up literally one more day after today, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That month that they specifically take time out to push, and even in sports, they wear pink shoulder pads and cleats in football, pink bands and sneakers in basketball, pink helmets in baseball. And I mean, all the sports and all the big things in life recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Actually, we wrapped up our last show at the Stress Factory for the month, was dedicated to breast cancer awareness. I had a couple of women that I know personally, Jerseyites, who came out last night, and it was great to see my girl. Shout out to Tracy in Jersey. It's good to see them, man. Just good people that have been fighting the fight for years and have been beating back cancer and going into remission. Shout out to you. And for those of you out there still on your journey and maybe not in remission and still fighting that fight, you are not alone. None of us, nobody wishes this on anybody, any type of cancer, to be honest with you. We're just talking specifically about breast cancer because of the Awareness Month. But Godspeed to all you guys, and nothing but prayers and love. Never feel like you're alone. Nobody is shunning this thing or downplaying it like it don't matter. It matters. Like I said, one more day, and then we shift gears. Tomorrow's Halloween, the very last day of the month, right? Let me tell you what I find interesting. Going through New York City during that week, whatever that weekend is around Halloween, nobody do that shit. Nobody do this shit like this. New York is a wild place, man. And I had to cut through Penn Station Saturday to go to Plainfield to do a show. Me and Rick, and it was stupendous, man. So happy Halloween coming up tomorrow. My advice is be very safe. They have they issued a warning. You know how every Halloween you got that warning, check the candy and all that. Mm-hmm. Same thing, but they added, like, this world is very scary sometimes, man. They got the little candy or candy lookalikes that have fentanyl. They're fentanyl, like pills, but made like sweet tarts or whatever, colorful candies or whatever. Be very careful. I'm a firm believer in, if that sucker ain't factory wrapped, I don't want it anyway. Like a generic looking candy or something like that, I wouldn't do it anyway. We all know the usual suspects in the candy. But tell you what never killed nobody: candy corn. Amir, you laughing? I was looking at a thing. They have the top selling candies of all. That shit every day is relentlessly in the top 5 or 10. It never slips out of the top 10. I think 1 or 2 years it was like 6, but it never goes out of the shit. Even me, I love me some candy corn. So happy Halloween. Prayers and salute to you warriors with the breast cancer, invisible pink ribbons all around the board and all that good stuff. So now we can jump into the actual weekend recap. How was your weekend? Let's start with you, Amir. How was your weekend, bro?
You know what? Weekend was good. I didn't do anything because I was on some reflective kind of weekend. I was like, the weather was good, and it was the last of the good weather for us here in New York. I just decided that I'd be home and kind of take care of around the house. Just get my head right for the fall campaign.
Gotcha.
So I didn't do my year wrap up yet, but this was me doing reflection before I get to that point. Because between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and New Year, that's when I really take the whole year and kind of like, this was good, that was bad.
Right.
Let's change some of the stuff.
Well, see, that's what we need to tell people. And I'm sure as we get closer, like you said, it's a little premature right now because it's ending October, beginning November, but we're only about a month away or 5 weeks from really, really sitting down and doing exactly what he just mentioned. And that self-check thing, we're going to go hard with that. Let's make that a point. Every Monday that we're on in December, there's going to be a topic, self-check. We always talking about checks and wellness checks and check on this one and that. Now it's time to check on you. But get you ready for a whole new calendar year, if you will. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Oh, speaking of Halloween, before I go into my shit, movie recommendation. I just got this today before I forget. I heard The Exorcist, the new Exorcist, is cray.
Is that right?
So, bruh, I'm in that motherfucker, man. I don't know what day, today, tomorrow or Wednesday, whatever. I'm in that shit. I like to go when people are at school or work. I go there 12, 1, 2 afternoon. People hit me, 3 people like, yo, this fucking new Exorcist, bro. I said, say less, don't give it away. Is it good? I said, is it good? Is it good? I said, okay, cool. I could tell by your expression, I'm going to see it. So Halloween pick, the Exorcist movie, the new one came out. Check it out. Now, my weekend, stupid weekend. For the first time in a long time, Mir, I think in the course of this whole year, since we come into the end of this year, I can only remember 3 times off the top of the head this year that I actually worked myself into exhaustion. Because I'm usually a trooper, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be hard pressed to find me tired or can't throw a punch in comedy. You know what I mean? Like, but last night, because this past week was stupid, right? So last night was that final show on Sunday, and I was just like, by the time I started the show, I was like, why the fuck? I ain't got it. But the good thing is I booked a hell of a show, at the Stress Factory last night. Oh, Sean's checking the settings. So it gave me time to get that second win. You know what I mean? And, here's Rick always says some shit that's funny to me that I start to realize is my bad days are still good. Like, how you're at a level of playing great, but then you be like, remember Michael Jordan was sick one time? Nigga still had a game. He didn't have a bum game. He had a good game. He contributed and won, right? So like, I be like that. Like, even though I feel it in my personal shit, like, I said, golly. So I thought the whole night was going to be like that. But by the time I brought the first 2 up and went back up, I had that second wind and blah, 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 and it was great. So that was yesterday. Saturday, like I mentioned, the Halloween, because that was the party, because Halloween falls on this Tuesday, Saturday was the day. All the Halloween parties, all the masquerade. New York was crazy with the costumes and shit. Shout out to the comedian Aldo, who told me, was it Saturday? Saturday, he went to, him and his wife Bridget went to a costume block party, like a Halloween block party. And, the advertising made it seem like everybody was going to have on costumes or whatever. He said only him and Bridget out there look as stupid as a motherfucker. They went as Ken and Barbie, my nigga. And, with all that pink shit on. He said, and it was really, really, even for him, Aldo, he can move in the best, whitest circles you got. But he said, nigga was very white. And he said, if it wasn't for that, we were high and had our weed. So we didn't really give a fuck. He said, but we laughed on the way home. Like, if we wasn't high, how awkward that shit would have felt. Like, cause we thought everybody's costumes and they didn't. So that was that. Thursday, of course, was the last Thursday of the month. So Mingles was popping. Had a great time at Mingles. I could say this for this week straight through. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows, a 6-show week, 7 days. Stupendous shows. Like comics really did their damn thing. Friday we were up in outside of Middletown, right? Unfortunately, it's this place called Steva's, black-owned place, and it was their last weekend. I didn't know they've been there 5 years. Beautiful location in the strip mall, blah blah blah. Stage, nice room, bar, food, restaurant, just everything perfect. And the people who hold the lease, it was time to renew the lease after the 5-year lease, and he said to try to go up like almost over doubling the lease, and they knew what it was. Like, let me say this, like when you have an establishment or a business, sometimes we want to open those businesses in good places, right? And you know, why not? You know, great place, great community, suburbs, whatever. But sometimes those places don't want us in their space, and they know that there's a price to pay directly saying, "Nigga, go away, nigga, we don't want you." Can't say that. So I have to use other means and technical business means to edge you out. You know, and that's the number one thing. If you have a lease anywhere, even if people do it with places they live, people do it with apartments, housing, everything, cars, everything that you buy. If they don't want you to have it or they don't want you there, they just can price it up or whatever. Why not? And they know that I can go a certain amount and get you out of here. That happened to me one time. I was in an apartment in the next town over, Pelham, and I was there for, I think I had an apartment about 5-6 years or whatever, but every year it was just going up. And I was like, who goes up every year? Like, I understand you got to go up sometime and the cost of living and all that, but who goes up every year like clockwork? I'm like, this is the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This is the bullshit. Sean is still in audio. Sean got to check his, he said it's not, hold on a second. Prophet Pete just put up there, Sean is not allowing me to use camera or mic. Okay, he's trying to fix it now. He said it's not allowing him, something's going on with his phone. But so that's what happened when you don't pay your bill with Sprint. They cut off features. They petty as a motherfucker. They don't cut your phone off. And regular phone companies cut yours, make you call them and pay that shit and work it out. Not Sprint. Sprint's petty as fuck. Sprint, one time, I ain't been on Sprint in a long time because the last shit they did. One time I was like, you know how Sprint was. It wasn't far back in the bill. So the bill was like $120.76. I paid $120. These niggas, because of the 76 cents, cut the flashlight off, bro. I dropped my keys outside at night. I couldn't find the fucking keys because what the fuck is wrong with my flashlight? These petty motherfuckers. That's another thing going on the tank. Yeah, so we're talking community right now. And in talking community, you got to be careful where you open these things. This place, Steva's, up outside of Middletown. Nice place, man. I was doing shows for them a mere 2, 3, 4 shows a year for the last few years. And when they want to edge you out, they're going to open another joint. But I was just like a downer, sad moment at, somewhere in the middle of the night. And when they gave me the information, I had no idea. And at the end of the show, I closed it out and made an announcement, brought the owners on stage, and they let the people know what was in the plans and all that. But I've been there. I've been there where people, we're in a weird time where we talk about slavery. There's a different type of slavery going on. Now it's like, okay, I can't shackle your ass, but I need to know everything. So that's the crazy shit to me. Like when I was in that apartment I was talking about, my schedule, how I move. At the time I was working on 2 movies, right? So I was in there a lot, but when I was in comedy mode. I'm leaving out wee hours in the night, I'm home all day, whatever. So the building manager guy who collects the rent and all that shit, one time I'm paying I talked to the owners, and I said, listen, here's my situation. I'm an actor, a comedian. There's going to be times where I'm going to pay 3 months at a time. I'm going to be going to LA and that. They said, no problem. Thank you for letting us know. You got that leeway. So one day I'm in the office and I'm paying this motherfucker. I think it was 3 months. And he's counting the money and like, it's a lot of money and looking at me. And then he started all that innuendo shit like, yo, so what do you do, yo? Because, people wondering, you got a big black truck and you're here all day and then you go at night. And I just look at the back of this motherfucker head while he's filling out the receipt like, here we go. That's a different version of slavery. We need to know and have clamps on you. And you don't need to know a motherfucking thing. The people that need to know because that's how I got in here. You're just a collector, bro. You don't own shit. You have a job to come here, collect rents and checks and cash and whatever, and give receipts. And if somebody got a complaint, you're a parlayer. Ain't none of this shit yours. So why do you must know? So that's another form that's going on right now. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. So riding back home. So that's my weekend, basically. Thursday, Mingles was great. Friday was Steva's last comedy show till they move. Then Saturday, young lady Star out in Jersey had something at one of the lodges in Plainfield, New Jersey, which was a remarkable story. First of all, shout out to you, Star. She sent me an email. I didn't know who was getting the email from, but I read this email, man, and she had a brother who loved comedy and was promoting comedy and always patronized the comedy shows and all that. He really loved it. So Halloween was, I guess it's around the time of his birthday or whatever. She wanted to do something. And she said, I want to do a comedy show, Halloween party, blah, blah, blah. And, the brother died, got killed or something. When I read that, I immediately resonated with it by being a person. If you're a person that lost, a certain amount of people, it resonates right with you. Boom, heart, your head. And I said, it's a no-brainer, and did the thing. And that was awesome. And like I said, right after that, we were tired. So I said, yo, let's go. We were about 10, 15 minutes from wherever the hotel was. We went, checked in, ordered some late night food, knocked out. And good thing I wasn't going to stay there both days. I got to get closer to the stress the next day. But good thing, it was paid for 2 days because the rest of the next day, Sunday, we didn't have to rush out and be inconvenienced and uncomfortable. We sat in our room and we watched the first game. Then we took showers and got the hell out of there. Then went to the hotel we were going to be at the stress. And then once that was over, had some more drinks and nightcap in the room and bang, sleep, right? Weekend was awesome. So back to the community thing. First of all, rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Damn. Big star, Friends, which is one of the biggest shows ever. And he was, I'm not a big fan of the show, but I've seen some and I've laughed. And I can, even though it's not a show that I've watched every episode of, I can honestly give credit where credit is due. And the cast was dope, and the timing and the jokes and the writing, and it was a great show. Wasn't my cup of tea per se that I'm going to watch every episode, but I can still recognize good, talented stuff. And the man was talented. He battled addiction for a number of years. Even when Friends was at its height, they said this brother was getting wasted and out of control. So when he said when he looks back at the early ones, he just shakes his head like, I don't know how I did all that shit, what I was going through. Now, I want to make a point. Reason I bring up Matthew Perry before I get back to our community stuff. So I wake up this morning in the hotel, and that hour that I'm up before I pack and go catch my train, the morning show, CBS Morning News, with Gail and all of them on there doing a thing remembering Matthew Perry. And in his interview, he's on the stage doing an interview, and he's like, oh, people automatically, oh, Matthew Perry, Friends. He's like, I don't want to be remembered by that. He says, being sobriety saved my life. I almost died, right? And he said, if I save people, and somebody say, can you help me? And I end up saving them. He said, I want to be remembered for that. I don't want to be remembered for Friends. I want to be remembered for that. Let me explain something to you people. Although that's a nice gesture of a thought, to me, it's a little privileged, because you don't have a luxury of knowing what you're going to be remembered for. That's the crazy thing. We know people that done several things in the course of their life, and that one thing, for whatever reason, is what everybody remembers them for. They could have been a star athlete and then turned into a business person and then created a Ponzi scheme. Guess what? Whatever the people gravitate towards, whatever that big thing is that sticks to you, is what happens. You know what I'm saying? When people look at my brand and look at the phrase, it's just comedy. Don't take it personal. It's just comedy. You know how many times after about 10, 15 years, people are like, yo, it's genius how you came up with that and da-da-da-da. It's really not. It's really simple. Did I know people were going to gravitate towards that and remember that thing? No. I did that for a specific reason. It became catchy to people and they wouldn't let it go. And smart businessman and myself, it was like, okay, that's how they identify with me. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Boom. It's just comedy. And it became synonymous with me hitting stages. But you don't have that luxury. I don't want people to believe that you do, because people will latch on to things about you or things you did and accolades and certain things and achievements or lack thereof on their own. And you can't call that part. You know what I mean? You can't call that part. To you, every parent think they're a good parent for the most part. But to your kid, the kid may see it opposite. Kid might be like, my dad ain't shit. This motherfucker, blah, 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 blah. My mother was a mean bitch. The bitch, blah, 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 blah. Now to you, you know why you moved the way you move and did what you did. But to the other eye, we can't control that thought process. So keep that in mind moving forward, people. Rest in peace. The late Matthew Perry was found in his hot tub at the house. It's not conclusive yet, but it was no foul play. So it looks like maybe he fell off the wagon and fell asleep in the tub, whatever. And, so rest in peace there. All right. So I'm going to get back to our communities. I'm going to throw this at you, Amir. This is what I noticed. So I'm riding from the train home, and Rick is in the car with me, and we get into this conversation, and we make a turn. We're in Nurshell, and we make a turn down North Avenue. And on North Avenue, used to be this big ass building. It was a family court building, child support and everything. Big ass building. Take up a whole block. Shit was rubble. So he said, yo, is that the fucking child support building? And I'm like, might be. I think maybe a block up. And it ain't take but a half a block of drive and go, yeah, that was it. That rubble. Gate around it, rubble. He was like, what the fuck? So I said, hold up. So I picked my phone out, started Googling, like, hold up. Are they forcing people to go to White Plains? That's not what happened. They just got a new building built. So they knocked that one down and moved to the new building, which is still not far from where that is. So I showed it to him. We laughed at that. We talked. And as we're riding, we're noticing pockets of storefronts in a row with nothing going on, right? Desolate. And he's like, oh, look at this shit, man. And I said, well, don't be so quick to blame it on the local government or the town government, whatever. These properties are owned by people. They're not owned by the government. They're owned by people. And the problem is, what we got to start really, let's call a spade a spade. I'm one of those dudes, like, I have no problem with calling my own people out. Sometimes we fuck up. Like I know, every black community and minority community, you're always going to hear this shit circle back around. It never gets old. Oh, the Chinese come in our hood and open their stores and the liquor store and the Indians and the bodegas and everything, because we talking about, we black and all these people are in our community. Well, I got news for you. If you don't open some shit up, or somebody black in the community don't open some shit up, who the fuck you think gonna open up in your community? We need more innovators, right, in our community. And here's one of the things we're guilty of as a people. When I say innovators, I mean that guy or girl who comes up with that thing and opens up this thing. Like, perfect example, when I got off of the train in the train station, the place where the little store is in the little area, the waiting area, that shit since COVID been empty. And I'm like, damn, they're gonna leave. It used to be like a little coffee shop, had your little coffees and bagels and sodas and waters and chips, and it was empty for 4 years. And now I look and I said, oh shit, somebody's opening something up in there. They had the big thing up. You can see through the gate, but they had the big thing up, coming soon, blah, 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 gifts. And I'm looking through the gate, peeking in, and it was very creative, because whoever's the place, it was a real gift shop. Like, different shit in there. Not the shit in Times Square with the I love New York mugs, you know, like really
yes,
private made shit, handmade or very good, like, you know what I mean? That's what we need in our community. We need innovators. Black people are guilty of a lot of time opening the same shit that's already there. How many times you see that shit, man? I seen a brother, I ain't gonna say no name, but I'm so mad. This dude opened up a fried chicken franchise. First of all, it wasn't even like, it's not an East Coast thing. It's like a Midwest to West thing. So people over here don't even know what the fuck it is, right? Around the corner is Popeyes. On the same 2-block radius is about 4 more chicken spots. Brazilian, you know, all the guala shit. Then you got 4 or 5 Chinese restaurants selling chicken. But you want to open up in the middle of all that. Your idea was, I got this chicken spot. Am I lying?
You're not. You know what's so amazing? Things. First of all, you're right. We need to do both. Not only being innovative, but we got to do. We're supposed to do void and fill whatever void is missing. So if you could do that, that's a plus by itself. But the bigger thing is, even when people might bring the same store or the same ideology to your neighborhood, our problem is we don't support. I'm out here. Can y'all still hear me?
It's breaking up, but yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I'm out here in Brooklyn, and one of the things that I noticed about being out here in Brooklyn is the bodegas, the spots that the Jewish people own. They go and they support. They don't even like each other, but they're gonna go support. We are one of the few groups of people on the planet that we always are in the mindset that if I support talent, for instance, that's allowing him to do better than me versus that's the money circulating within our community so that we can do more stuff within the community. And I know that we don't think about it from that standpoint, but mostly every other group thinks that way. That's why when you go to Chinatown, there's nothing but Chinese stores in Chinatown. when you go to the West Indian spots, whether you go out here in Brooklyn on Fulton and all that, or you go uptown to 220, the 220s. That's all West Indian. But they all support each other. They all go to each other's stores. They all share the resources so that it kind of stays within the neighborhood. For whatever reason, we get this really weird energy towards each other. I'm not going to help him or her because then that's going to allow them to leave me, and nobody's leaving you. You need to find something that you can work on, allow you to build something, and then springboard from that point forward. And if we can start to utilize that as a way to really build and sustain our neighborhoods, we'd be all right. But that's not what we're doing.
And my thing is like this, man. Whether you're an innovator or copycat, somebody got to open something up. Somebody got to open something up, bro, because it's just common sense. Like, Amir, if I move out of this house, somebody moving in.
Facts.
It's not going to sit here, and then I can't ride back by here 2 years from now and go, Chinese niggas moving in my house. It ain't first of all, ain't your house no more, sir. And of course somebody gonna move in there. So we gotta be conscious of that type of stuff as well. You know what I mean? We're looking for Sean Harvey.
Did we get him yet?
He said he had a problem with the link, but I'll hit him later. You don't see him, do you? Talking to Pete. Okay. I don't know what's going on with Sean. Shout out to Sean Harvey.
Yes.
He said something wrong with the link. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with the link. We right here. Anyway, but yeah, that's just an FYI for our people in our communities. And here's the thing. It might not be you, right? It might be somebody you know. I'm going to tell you part of the problem with this thing, Amir, is we're too selfish. sometimes. And another thing is we don't do the due diligence to know how to get something open. The average black dude, let's say this business costs $25,000 to start up. The average dude think the only way is he got to have 25,000. There's programs. There's things you can apply for. There's loans you can get, business things and incentives that you can get lumped together, partners and investors. It's so much stuff you can do to get the capital for the startup. The guy I'm talking about who had the bad idea or whatever, he didn't just have that 200 grand sitting around to do that with. He went, he applied, he got loans, he got grants. He lined up with other people who got loans and grants. Collectively, they created a little thing and they had what they needed and they went with it. I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't that point of the bad idea, they probably would have been banging. It was just too much of a perfect storm working against you, meaning location number one. Two, you're opening, you're trying to sell something in New York, chicken, that niggas in New York know KFC. They know Popeyes. They know shit. They know churches. You know, we know certain chicken joints is automatic in our brain, but niggas don't know Crispy Crunch.
Yeah.
So guess what? They're gonna ride by that. And you got to think about that because you grew up here. This is your home. You know, you got a head start. That's the funny thing. When we do something where we came from, we actually have a leg up. Think about that. Motherfuckers come from East to Blip, open shit in your hood. They don't know nothing about your hood except it's black people over there. People gonna buy this stuff. From the Asians with the hair product shit, weaves and extension and shit, and chain stores, and to the Spanish motherfuckers and the Arabs with the fucking bodegas and corner stores, to the car washes and all. They just know it's people over there. If I open a car wash, I want to know it's people over there. They got cars. Let's do it. That's all I need. I need people with cars. Just be creative. Do your due diligence. Be smarter. You know what they always say. You know, you're supposed to work smarter, not harder. You know, let that be an announcement for you. Now, I'm going to dip into this. Second part of the show is very interesting. I seen this and I said, this is good to go over because we just talked about making strides financially, opening things, innovating, getting grants, money, this, that, the third. And yeah, you're taking a chance. You might have a great idea and you may win. You may franchise your shit out. Speaking of that, shout out to Magic Johnson, making the 4th billionaire athlete. And what's so incredible about Magic's story is this. He missed out on the biggest thing that he could have been a billionaire, like Jordan did, right? But he still got it. He's still fucking steadfast, stayed the right investments, the right business, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, I'm 1.2 billion now. You know what I mean? So shout out to Magic Johnson. There's only 4 of them right now. LeBron, Jordan, him, and Tiger Woods. Athletes. So shout out to him. But here's the thing. They had this thing, the 24 stars or whatever that lost it all. You know what I mean? And, you know, we're not going to do all 24, but it's some that resonate with us and our audience, right? So I wrote them down. We can go through them. You tell me what you think about it. Lauryn Hill. At the top of her shit, Lauryn Hill brought in over 24 mil, blah, blah, blah. But what happened was some messy money management, and she got hit with this lawsuit. It was like 4 or 5 producers or collaborators on that first classic album she made, the solo joint. And she ended up settling 5-6 million out of that. Then the tax thing in 2013, she spent 3 months in jail for that, you know, paid money back at the jail time and all that. I think this, when we talk about these black entertainers, predominantly, you know, minorities, it's so easy to fall victim to these things when you come from nothing. Because when you don't know what you don't know. A person that's coming from a generational wealth situation or inheritance and all that type of stuff, they probably grew up around money and with money, so they kind of understand how that shit flow. When you take people that come from nothing and somehow, boom, I got it, you're gonna move a weird way. Like I told Rick yesterday, we were going to the city, 2 days ago, and we're talking about money, and I'm talking about my first accountant. And to me, it wasn't transparent enough. So I had to fire the first account that I got put onto, because every time I went to pick money up, it wasn't what it was supposed to be, because some had to go to the accountant. And I'm like, well, show me why and what's going on. I don't say I don't want to pay it, but let me see. And they hand me a fucking blank sheet of paper with one line typed across. And it had a number, my name, social security number, hours, and how much an hour, blah, blah, and the total of billable hours. And I said to my manager at the time, young lady, I said, Chris, the fuck is that? She said, it says that they 72 billable hours times this. So they took that out to check. I'm like, but how do I know they did 72 hours?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I'm in LA, and this is true, when I lived in LA back and forth, my lawn had to be done when I'm gone. You know, so the guy who I'm paying whatever every other week to make sure the lawn's right and tight, yeah, I'll pay you, but I'm also sending my family by the house to make sure the fucking lawn's done. How do I know? I could be sending you this money all the time. Don't do my due diligence. Lawn fucked up. But I've been paying you, right? And then all of a sudden, when I do come back home, I get a letter from the city with a fine of $1,500 more because the fucking lawn's too high. It's out of control. It's fucking the block up. You know what I mean? So Lauryn Hill, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker. 11 mil taxes from 2001 to 2005. Now, here's a funny thing about Chris. I'm privy to, because I know Terry Hodges, like that last special you seen Chris Tucker do for Netflix. Terry used to travel with him as an opening act, Terry Hodges, and then, which is shout out to Terry, one of my mentors in the game. So Terry used to write for him. He opened for him and he helped him write, especially when he had the special deal coming up through the Netflix. He was like, I'm gonna pay you to be the writer, blah, 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 whatever. So over time, he never paid him. And then when he bitched about his money, he paid him some minuscule amount of money. Like he owed him like money, right? So he was like, got tired of, chasing and begging for his shit and being treated, whatever the case may be. And when Chris said, man, that's what you get, nigga, take it or leave it. He put his lawsuit in and he sued his motherfucker and he became a billionaire. Quickest way to go bankrupt, lawsuits. Mm-hmm. Because even whether they win or you settle, it's costing you unnecessary money. And then tack on your legal fees and all that shit. Tony Braxton, bro. People don't know how much money this girl generated. This young lady, Tony Braxton, generated over $170 million just off the first two albums. But you say to yourself, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is she had a fucked up deal with LaFace Records. They were giving her less than 30 cents off of the record. You know what I mean? So that 170 automatically comes down to a third of that. That's a huge hit.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea of what that looked like, you know how you take your check, you work somewhere, you get a check, and roughly a third is missing, just under a third, and that's taxes, federal, state, Flip it, and the government let you take 30% of your money. That's what that should look like, 170. And we're just talking about the early stages of it. So fast forward, she fell ill and all that type of stuff. So she kind of probably didn't do as much as she could have as time went on with the heart thing she was diagnosed with and everything. But she's on that list. Now, this dude, we all know MC Hammer. 33 mil and over 33 mil in 1 year. In the beginning, when he popped, he generated brought in over 33 million one time. Problem is, I'm kind of torn with Hammer because Hammer had a staff and payroll of over 200 people. He brought in that 33 million. 1991 alone, that 1 year, he brought home 33 million, right? Now, when I say I'm torn is because of this. I believe in us people looking out for us people. And that's basically what he did. He was a figure in the hood. He was a hood. A lot of people don't know this about Hammer unless you've seen the interview with some. Hammer was an OG. He's a real gangster. All that dancing and niggas was cracking. Popcorn. Hammer, hem your ass up, nigga. Hammer, real deal, Holyfield. But he came out, so all his hood dudes, come on, y'all. We getting money. Y'all getting money with me. You the manager. Y'all the security. Y'all da. Next thing you know, it's 200 people. To the point in the tune of hitting him so bad in the pocket, and they get filed for bankruptcy, not once, twice. Now, some of these names I'm naming have since then got back on their wheels. Rebounded. So, and keep in mind, I always tell people this shit. Keep in mind, people who make a lot of money, their broke ain't your broke. So people go, oh, so-and-so broke. Settle down. They're broke ain't your broke. So settle the fuck down. They're broke in comparison up. And you now, your brother, being Malik Silly, you guys must have seen, and I got 1, 2, 3, it's like 5 more names, but I'm gonna take a break to go to the athletic side, right? Because y'all must have seen a ton of athletes come and go, up and down, party and blow it, and blah, 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 and bad investment. Look at Tim Duncan. He going through it right now. They done caught him in some scheme, 30-something, to the tune of 30-something million. He talking about he broke now, because that's my 30.
You know it's so crazy. And you make a valid point. One of the unfortunate caveats of our, not everybody, but a portion of us is financial literacy. And yes, we've had the great parents who might have understood how to save. Your mom had to back when the bank bank books. And your bank books filled out all that. It looked good and solid. And we just put the money in the bank. But to your point, we didn't have the savvy to understand investments.
Right.
We didn't necessarily have the savvy to understand stocks and bonds. And then we also didn't have the of having people who do understand finances and stuff come and say, hey, let me explain to you before I even see who be a part of this, whatever the case may be. You like you said, only about a few people know that. Fortunately, there's a personality who is caught up in some a situation as right now. And what is happening is you're my friend or somebody who I've known. And I just trust that. Like you said, I don't do my due diligence. I don't get into what investments really are and how they work. You tell me, I'm getting grand. And I'm gonna give you back 15 or 20 in 3 months. You think to yourself, I'm good to go. I don't gotta do anything to stand it. I just do my part and put resources in.
Right.
And you would think that as a community, because we have look at now, we would do better as we go forward. So to the Lauren Hills and Chris Tuckers and basketball players, numerous entertainers who find themselves in these situations. You gotta before you give any money, serious money, even though all money is serious. Because we in theory we say the funny things to each other. You can win $60 to somebody. To me that was a lot of money. It is what it is. You can, But I think when we start getting into thousands and numbers like that, you should really the idea by people. And if you don't have a great understanding, people maybe in your network might have a better understanding. And just see if they can give you some guidance. So we got a lot of work to do, man. But I'm glad you bring these topics to the forefront because what happens is what we can do is shed light on it and then get some viable solutions to be able to put it forth and start to activate daily activities so that they can get things done. You know,
we say a lot of that. We can't say enough of it. I know we say it a lot, but it's because we have to say it a lot, is that you have to do your due diligence. My good brother DJ Envy going through it right now. You know what I mean? Because whether he knew or not is irrelevant. The point is, you entrusted in somebody that they were doing the right thing, and come to find out, they saying, nah, this is a scam, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because you the guy with the bullhorn on the radio that said, yeah, blah, 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 and everybody did it on the strength of that, you're dragged into this now. Now you're a part of this trial. You are forced to be state's witness and help them out, so you'll keep your ass out of jail and keep your job and your livelihood going. We can't state it enough. You have to do your research, your due diligence. I don't just sign off for anything, right? Sometimes people don't like me for it, and it's cool. But at the end of the day, this guy, I got to live with this guy. And I ain't got no choice. I tried to get rid of this nigga several times. Can't separate. So I got to live with this guy. So I got to do my due diligence. All right. So back to the list. Since we started talking NBA a little bit, we could talk about Dennis Rodman. Now, in comparison to these new NBA contracts, Dennis Rodman ain't make a ton of money from basketball. You know what I mean? Not in comparison. I mean, 27, 30 million is a lot to the average Joe. But in the NBA, like a big known name, like a guy like Dennis Rodman, who made a name for himself as being the fucking technician rebounder and able to get motherfuckers more championships and shit like that, it's nothing. But he played 14 seasons in the league. And that 30 million or whatever, let's say with endorsements and other shit he did, say it doubled, say it's 60 over 14 seasons. But then it's gone. And it's gone because the way you splurge it. I tell people this shit all the time. It's not about how much you have. It's about the cost of living you're living. How is your cost of living? Are you, because you got millions coming in, do you need the $1 million house? You've been living fine. Right before you popped, you was living fine down the block in that 3-family house. Very clean. People admire it. They like it. Got a little yard. Now it's not enough. Now I'm making this, so I think I need to spend this. I tell people, to me, it's not always the smartest thing, because if you don't know that your lifestyle is going to be that way the rest of your life, you're setting yourself up for failure. Take something like sports is a great example, sports and rap, because it expires. You're not going to be rapping at 55, dog, and 65 and 75. So while you were rapping, it was all good. The money was coming in enough to pay the cost of living. Then you ain't got no albums. Now, with the exception of a few Dr. Dre's and Jay-Z's, but you can't set your tone by that because you're not them yet, or you're just not them. Yes. And that's what happens. People create this cost of living that soon will exceed what's coming in. And it's simple math. You ain't got to finish high school to understand what the fuck I'm saying right now. Coming in and going out. You know what I'm saying? If I got $5 coming in, I can't spend $6. I can't even spend the $5 because this $5 got to get broken up.
And that is such a powerful analogy people do. Like you said, when you pull that with certain lifestyle, or at least appearing to have certain lifestyle. Our good friend. I was just telling somebody today. And ever since he said, I promise you, it's something that's in my head. One time I was talking to Lauren. I don't hang out. I said, yeah, Lord, hang out, brother. You paved the way. You done so much. He said, Amir, about. Haven't you ever noticed? Mostly in clubs, the only thing that's going on is people Failure and mediocrity.
So celebrating what?
Failure and mediocrity. Yo, messed me up. I was like this. He's right. You know what I mean? Because you haven't done anything point to be double or triple what you have. It can. So if you don't have double or triple that, then what you celebrate? All you did was diminish what you had. So now you're trying to play the game. I gotta re-up to get back to what I had, and then work on trying beyond that.
Right. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm a math dude, man. I love numbers, and the biggest thing I ever said was numbers don't lie. I posted a meme on my story today on IG, and so people always ask me, "Yo, you handsome, you smart, you funny, you intelligent. Why you still single?" I said, "Well, I'm overqualified, clearly. All those things now make me overqualified for that job." You've never been to a job interview where the motherfucker look at your resume and go, you way too qualified for this job. We feel stupid offering you this little 20 or 30 or whatever. Like, let's save this for somebody who needs this. Let's not waste it, because, and I get the sentiment of that, because if you're a hirer, right, you're looking at, he don't really give a fuck about you or the next guy. What he's really covering his ass is saying, if you have all these qualifications, it's just a matter of time for you leave me high and dry. So I hire you now, you be here 6-7 months, you find what you really want, and now I'm fucked up again. So instead of doing that shit, I'm gonna do myself a service right now instead of a disservice, and hang in there for the motherfucker that need it. Because the one that need it gives me the upper hand. You being super qualified have the upper hand if I hire you. You leave my ass high and dry in a heartbeat. So I posted that shit today, and that's about life, nigga. I'm overqualified. What the fuck you expect? Little Kim, popping. I mean, I remember when Little Kim first started popping, 2-3 LPs in, and all of these purse companies and fashion things was signing her, and she was endorsed by this and making that. You didn't need the $3 million house. Couldn't get the little $1 million high rise or a condo. You got the $3 million house. You had to sell it. Bankruptcy 2018. I'm gonna save the best for last. And then two more. Wesley Snipes. Now, Wesley was racking it in, man. When it was all good, 40, 50, 60 mil.
Yeah.
Part of it, he got caught in another little Ponzi scheme or whatever, and the tax dudes did him dirty. And I even seen an interview with Steve where his accountants and tax people did him dirty. The dude ended up dying. His only way he fucking found out he was fucking in trouble with 20-something million owed to the government type thing. The last but not least, the biggest one to me, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, bro. We're talking about a man earning over $400 million. We're talking about a man who clearly, easily, he would, you know how we started the show shouting out Magic Johnson and his 4 athletic billion. You know Mike's supposed to be in that list.
Mike is supposed to be there.
He was right. The trajectory had him being there. Before Tiger, before Magic, before his trajectory was on that stratosphere of earnings. You understand what I'm saying? But when I read some of this shit, that Mike was buying fucking Tigers, 800,000. This nigga bought a $2-3 million gold hot tub. Tub in his house.
This how I do. Mike was ridiculously long, and he was just doing fun stuff. The wonderful story about him lending his Bentley to your cousin. Son. When I heard that story, I was like,
that's how much money he was getting. But let me put it in perspective for you, Amir. The man got a gold tub in the house worth about $3 million. We just complained about Lil Kim bought a whole fucking house for $3 million.
For $3 million.
For $3 million.
And that's to show
you,
you, like you start really thinking about money, resources, whatever word you want to use. Sometimes it's almost not fair to try to put things in perspective. Because when you do, you start realizing you've had moments where 1,500, 10,000, or whatever might be, you know, a time where you really spent some money. You felt good about that. Until you start thinking about entertainers and athletes, thinking to yourself like, that was a drop in the bucket. One of my favorite stories. True story to this day. This was when you have having baseline. And one day we're in there, Jay and LeBron and cats were gambling. I don't even know what the game was. Sort of card game. I couldn't figure it out. But I'm standing around and they playing. And they like, yo, what's up? The money that they were losing was way more money than I could make just on my regular job.
Right.
Just gamble. This one thing. And I'm standing there watching all that stuff. That's when you're making a lot of money. When you can gamble hundreds of dollars. And it's okay. You don't even feel it. You don't think about it.
Dude, they say I was never privy to be, I'm a casino guy, and I've been in there with a lot of motherfuckers. But everybody who's ever been in a casino at the same time with Michael Jordan, when they talk about, we were in Atlantis years back on one of his he had the weekend, the golf weekend, Michael Jordan Classic or whatever, and the comedy club in the Atlantis, Chris was headlining, and some of us was going up doing spots, but more importantly, me and Quincy, we were gambling in the casino. And, we walk around there looking for the little $20 table, $15 table, $10 table. Then they got a section for the high rollers. That shit, I'm looking at the high roller section like, I wish I would. The fucking minimum coming in is $1,000. Fuck out of here. I'm not throwing my money away like that, right? Then you look over at some other shit. I don't even think it's a label sec. They made this shit up for Mike. Because the high limit, the high roller was too low for Mike. Mike went in there, 10,000 minimum. And a couple of NBA motherfuckers at the time was like, they're his guests there for the weekend. And you'll see them getting coffee or making runs and shit. Oh, I thought you was gambling. Man, I can't fuck with Mike. Mike crazy motherfucker. These are other millionaires, bro. But they like, I'm not sitting down 40, 50, 100. I'm going home to my family, my mortgage, my fucking tuitions, and da-da-da-da. But again, we say all of this shit to say, people, there's a parameter called your means. And we're supposed to try to live within our means best see fit. Not to impress the guy next to me, not to live in his means because I'm hanging out with him tonight. I have my own shit set. And I'm not being disrespectful with you, whatever the case may be. You need to recognize and respect that too. Oh, okay, T, you ain't trying to do, no, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do this and get on these bitches. A couple bitches over there looking. So if I win this 500, I got enough to buy them a drink and I'll start from there. So it starts. But you gotta, one thing I can honestly say about myself, I've never lived like that. I never took it too far out of my means. You know what I mean? Like, did I get some things that everybody grows up with aspirations and, goals and desires and stuff like that. But I keep it within reason.
Yes.
I keep it within reason. You know what I mean? Even with practical shit, like even when I bought my cars, I don't even drive anymore. But when I was buying my cars over the years, I didn't just buy the car. Let me get this fly looking car coming down the block. My car had to make sense. It could be look fly, but does it make sense too? Meaning I'm always traveling. We always got boxes and bags and moving shit left to right. Okay, so I need that shit with the room to do that. Yeah, it's cool when I wash it and shine it up and looks good. But more importantly, I pop the back of this bitch and take this refrigerator to the club or what, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Practical, within your means, people. It's not a hard thing to do. Who are we impressed? That's one thing I do love about being middle-aged. What I do love about age, what I welcome about age is the older you get, the less fucks you give. When you're young, you give a fuck about everybody with their eyes on you. Oh, he looking at me? Give me those sneakers. Oh, he looking at me? Give me that Versace shirt. The older you get, that's why I love old people. God bless the elderly. They give a fuck about you. You be like, oh, he said that? The old nigga be like, I seen my one of my two kids' mom, bullshit you not. God bless the dead. Before their grandmother died, this old bitch was gangster, bro. This old bitch she had mortgage with the daughter and the sister. She had all the shit credit wise, right? That bitch got to a certain age in there, and they gave her a fucking apartment in one of them old people buildings. That bitch said, "Fuck everybody." And my kid's mother was going crazy, like, hold on, what do you mean? Mom, we got this mortgage, your name on it. She said, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Y'all deal with that shit now. What they gonna do to? She said this shit out of her mouth. What they gonna do to me? Fuck my credit? What I'm doing with credit? I need no more credit. I lived. I'm good. And lived in that motherfucker apartment to the day she died. And I said, damn. And it made everything came into fruition. It made sense in my brain. Like, it makes sense. Cause what are you gonna do to this old person?
Jam them up.
You and me, we pissed off. I gotta go to court. That 70, 80-year-old motherfucker, fuck y'all. Yo, what about the government? Fuck the government. What the government gonna do to that 80-year-old?
And that's what you live for.
Exactly.
You know.
And that you that's why I always say this. You got two, if you're lucky, 3 parts of life. The first one is, let's say the average person has 2 lives. The first part of your life is you do what you're supposed to do. You be a productive member of this thing we call society. You raise a family. You put the kid, you teach them what you can to be on their own and put them to school and da. You do all that. And then the second part, you do what you want to do. And hopefully if you did the first part somewhat right, you set up the second part so that you can do what you want to do. But if you fucked up the first part, you scratching your head on the second part, like, why I can't do what I want to do? I know grown motherfuckers that keep coming out of the woodwork. Yo, you got $50? You got $100? Nah. More importantly, nigga, what you been doing all this time? I ain't seen you in a minute.
Why don't you have it?
And be dead serious. Not and niggas so bold today, Amir, it ain't even loan me $100. Is do you have, like, nobody mentioned paying shit back. Come on, I know you got it. I'm like,
no, I don't.
I go back to old school, nigga, and put it in my sock. You got it? I ain't got shit, bro. No cash, man. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. But I treat motherfucker like that dude outside the store all the time. You know, hey, you got any spare change, get something to eat? You hungry? Yeah, I just want to get us something to eat. I'll be right back. I came back out the store with a separate bag with 3 wings and biscuits and gravy and mashed potatoes. I said, here you go. What's this? I said, 3 pieces of biscuit. Nigga said, oh, I wasn't going to get that. I said, man, give me my motherfucking bag back. Went to the house and fed my goddamn dogs that chicken. Are you crazy?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Anyway, people, I hope we rung a bell with somebody and resonated with somebody out there. Shout out to Alfreda. I see you, darling. Thanks for reaching out, checking up on the show. All my Rochester people, if you do tune in, spread the word. We were supposed to be there this weekend. That's postponed to the December 2nd, the first Saturday in December. There was a mix-up with the date where we had the date, but the people who posted it on the website, the It's Just Club.com, put the wrong date. And then by the time we caught it, which was yesterday, it's too close to promote. And we don't want, to do a flat and fall on your face and you don't have a good time and we don't have a good time. So just gave ourselves time and recalibrated, rebooted, and we'll be back in Rochester, Urban Euphoria, Saturday for 2 shows, December 2nd. Thanksgiving Eve, we're in your area, man. Boogie Down Bronx at the Dugout, the new Dugout, owned by my boy Smitty and wifey. So we'll be there with a comedy show and after party with DJ K Swift. New Year's Eve weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and New Year's Eve Sunday, the end of the year. We're in Brooklyn, 275 Park at Ray DeJean's new place, doing about 7 shows with the New York Kings. Matter of fact, New York Kings, the 18th of November, will be in the Poconos area at the Sherman Theater, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. One show, Saturday, November 18th. Mark Vieira, Rob Stapleton, Capone, yours truly, Talent. Check us out. We love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging with us. We went a little over because we started a little late, so it's all good. Sean Harvey will be back in effect next Monday. This is Amir Silly. I'm your boy Talent. We love y'all. Nothing y'all can do about it. Amir, peace, King.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another one down, my brother. Love you. Nothing you can do about it.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think Prophet Pete forgot.
He done fell asleep on it.
That's funny. Prophet Pete like, yo, fuck all that. Or just click out it.
It's Monday, cocksuckers. And you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in. I had such a great weekend. Oh my God. Go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking go.